because the battery was, there we go. We'll see what we can get on this. So I'm sorry for this, if you're watching this from home, sorry, that happens. Okay, and I saw the seven angels, we already read that, and he gave to them, the seven angels were given seven trumpets. And the trumpets are used in Scripture for a couple of things. One thing it's used for is to warn people, tornado coming. Another reason is that it would call people to worship at the beginning of the feast days. Call people to worship, and it would also call people to the attention that war is breaking out. So in other words, the bad guys are coming to the wall, and the people up there, the trumpeters, they're blowing their trumpet and saying, we're being attacked. Get ready. So we come down now to verse 6. So the angels, the seven angels who had the seven trumpets, prepared themselves to sound. Let's go over to Jeremiah chapter 6 in the Old Testament. Jeremiah chapter 6. And see what this says. And verse 17. Jeremiah chapter 6, 17 says, also set watchmen over you, saying, listen to the sound of the trumpet. Listen to the sound of the trumpet. But when the people heard the trumpet, they said, what? We will not listen. Do you see that in your scripture? We will not listen. So there's a stubbornness here that has to be overcome. But it's the people's choice to be stubborn. God does what he can to bring them out of their dilemma that they're in, and the same thing is happening today. But people don't want to listen because they're too happy, too satisfied, too comfortable with what they're wearing now or what's going on now. Okay, let's go back over here. Revelation. We'll be coming back to Jeremiah in just a little bit. So the first angel sounded, and hail and fire followed, mingled with blood, and they were thrown to the earth. And a third of the trees were burned up, and all green grass was burned up. Now this is interesting because we're going to see this again later on, but the green grass and the green trees are not burned up. We'll see that a little bit later here. Okay. And then it says, some people look at this and see this. If you compare this with the seven churches, what was the first church? The first church was Ephesus. And Ephesus was a good church, and it was good, but at the same time, in AD 70, something happened to Jerusalem. It was destroyed by the Roman armies. They came down. And they were so stubborn, the Jews, we're not going to go out. We're not going to do this. So they stayed inside. And it was hard for the Romans to get in. I think they were there for several months, surrounded the city. People would sneak out of Jerusalem at night. This is from Josephus. And they would swallow their gold and their rubies and their gems. And the Roman soldiers found out about that. And so when they came by, the Roman guards,